Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Think Business Live. Looking forward to talking with Mary Seats. Mary, it's great to connect with you. We're going to talk about a couple of your companies today, and I'm really looking forward to it. You have the bakery Cowork, and you have your marketing agency, the icing agency. Want to read your bio real quickly. You've earned several accolades and established numerous successful ventures that highlight your influence and your dedication in the business world. You're the founder of Cupcake Mafia, a multi-million-dollar streetwear brand, which you started with just $300, grew to significant fame, eventually collabing with major brands like Puma. You've also launched Bakery Cowork, the largest women-focused co-working space in the United States, providing a nurturing environment for female entrepreneurs. It's great. All right. So thanks for being here. And all right. So where I want to start is I want to start talking about lessons, right? I want to talk about, you're a very accomplished, very successful business person. You've been doing a lot. You've done a lot. You continue to do a lot. I know you're at a client photo shoot. We can see the flashes in the background right now.
Sorry, I'll turn it a little.
Oh, I love it. No, keep it. It's great. So what's one lesson that you've learned to date that you think is the most prominent lesson that sticks out as you're building your business?
I think one of the most prominent lessons that I've learned is the value of relationships. I think that, coming up I started in the music industry. And so often in the music industry, there are so many ups and downs. Also, just, in any industry, there are so many ups and downs on this journey. And I think now that where I am in my life, I value relationships more than money. I think when I was on my airbed above my retail store after losing my business, there were people that I called that opened doors for me that even if I had millions of dollars in my bank account, if I didn't have those numbers, if I didn't have those relationships, those doors wouldn't have been open. So I think for a new entrepreneur or anyone that's on their journey to success, you should look around you and create a list of people that you're like, I have to continue to build relationships with these people. I have to value them, and I have to just reach out to them and check on them more than when I need them for something. So I would say relationship building is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned.
Yeah, I think so too. So should I call you Mary? Should I call you Skittles?
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. Mary or Skittles is fine.
All right, let's go with Skittles. That seems to be kind of right. So I agree with you. Relationship capital, I think, is number one. I tell my kids all the time, your network is your net worth, because it's key. You got to grow your network. So let me ask you a question. So on that, so as you build your network and as you surround yourself with all of these mentors, there's people out there. You've been in the music industry. I'm making a broad stroke comment right now, but I think there's, from what I hear from people in the industry, you have to be careful on who you trust and things of that nature in the industry. I think really not just that industry, but all industries. And so what should someone look for when looking for a mentor? Somebody who can be, there for the long term.
Yeah, definitely. When I look for a mentor, I'm looking for someone that has already drove down the road that I'm trying to drive, right? You want for your mentor to be able to know what potholes you will face on that same road before you get there. You shouldn't be looking for a mentor that never drove down the road that you're trying to go. Yeah. Every single one of my mentors, when I was trying to buy my factory in China, I had a mentor that had a factory in China, that operated in China, that knew what bank account, how to hire staff, what tariffs, what this. They knew everything about it. When I was starting my marketing agency, I had a mentor that had scaled a marketing agency and could tell me, this is what you don't do. Don't keep clients and retainers for too long. This is how you burn out. All of those things. So I think when you're looking for a mentor, one, you should find someone that's willing to be vulnerable with you. The best mentors are not the ones that's going to stroke your ego, tell you you're amazing and how business is great and how they make millions of dollars and they live in this house and they drive this car. Those are not the mentors. The best mentors that I've had were the ones that were telling me about when they were burnt out, when they went through their divorce, how they lost their millions of dollars that everybody, they were on Forbes, and then next thing you know, they were on the floor because they, couldn't maintain the wealth and couldn't maintain their finances. And so I think finding a mentor that has went down that road that you're trying to go on and that's vulnerable enough to tell you the mistakes that they made so that you don't make those same mistakes, those are the mentors that I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. It's because unfortunately some of those people didn't have the people in front of them,
Yeah.
right? And I think, asking for help is a vulnerable space, and being a mentor is a vulnerable space. But to be real, that's the key. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. You don't need somebody telling you how great you are. You need somebody finding the invisible gap that you just can't see, that's hidden in plain sight. Yeah.
Yes.
No. Yeah.
And if I could just say for a second, in my adult career, I felt like I needed another mentor. Like I was like, okay, I have these mentors. These mentors were great for this, but I need someone that's going to propel me to that next level, that understands marketing, that understands scaling a community, that
Yeah.
understands raising capital, right? And so I literally went on Google last year in January. First week of January, I was back from my trip to Bali. I went on, I literally went on Google and searched female mentor or how to find a mentor, and like all of these guys came up. But you know how algorithm works and how social media works. Next thing you know, I started seeing all these ads for intro coming, and then I booked a call with this lady named Jacqueline Johnson, who I absolutely love and adore, and she became my mentor. And
Right.
on that first call, the 30-minute call, she told me exactly what I needed. Like, you're
Yeah.
doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. So those are the mentors you need, the mentors that wake you up, that
Yeah.
shake you a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's that's great, and you need a mentor who can help kind of hit that little nerve that everybody else is maybe too scared to highlight, so you can grow. And that takes courage, and courage doesn't always feel good. Right? You can't wait for the confidence to kick in, because then it's sometimes you're too late. All right, let's. I want to talk about you. I want to talk about your business. I want to talk about you have created bakery Cowork, the largest women-focused co-working space in the U.S. We've seen, I think, a lot of people move to the co-working space, especially in a post-COVID world. It was around before, but in a post-COVID world, I think people want to feel more connected with other people, and they're open to feedback. They're more open to asking for help in a co-working collaborative space where everybody is kind of coming who is like-minded, where
Yes.
they can come and have their independence, but also reach out for help. And so let's do a little mini business course on the bakerycowork.com. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions for this mini business course. The
Okay.
first question is, what makes co-working space, from your perspective, so enticing for people?
I think co-working is so enticing because you get to meet people that you wouldn't just meet in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Usually when you are working in a coffee shop, you're working in a silo. You go there with your laptop, you heads down, you order that coffee, and that's it for the day. In a co-working space, you are kind of pushed to meet the people that are sitting next to you. You're pushed to be like, oh, what is it that you do? How can I help you? How can I serve you? So real relationships are made by co-working. It also forces you to get out of your house, comb your hair, do your makeup, get dressed. So I feel like the depression or the mental stress that we have from working at home, where we have a button-up shirt on and pajamas at the bottom, and we're doing the same routine over and over again, and we're losing ourselves and we're losing our happiness. That goes away when you're out in co-working, because now you have to find a way to get up and get re-excited about life again in this co-working space. And the third thing is opportunities. There's so many opportunities. I literally have one of my members that was unemployed and was searching for jobs, and that's why she joined our co-working space, to then being able to meet someone in our co-working space that was looking for someone exactly with her skill set, and she ended up getting a C-suite position in a
Right.
company after co-working for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think opportunities that you have the chance to meet. And the biggest thing with our space and why I created it is because I feel like when I was going to WeWork and I want to wear my pink dress or bright color, makeup, or it wasn't like that. It was like, listen, we're corporate, put on your black blazer. I wanted to create a space for all women to be able to celebrate each other and get resources, information, and access to capital. That is one of the biggest things that women need when they're growing their business is access to resources, information, and capital. And so that's what we built the bakery on.
I love it. I love it. All right, that's number one. Number two, after you built it, how did you market it and get the resources? Not only get the resources to kind of like you're talking about the capital but how did you get people to walk in the door? I think a co-working space can be kind of scary because you open it. I live in Detroit, and there's a couple of people that have opened co-working spaces in Detroit.
Yeah.
It can be scary because you open it and you hope people walk in and actually pay the monthly fee or the quarterly fee or the yearly fee. So what was your business model in hopes that that would happen?
Yeah, I think for me, my business model, well, one, our co-working space is not just co-working. We have over 20,000 square feet of an event space, photography studio, podcast studio, co-working space, conference room, kitchen, cafe, all everything that you could possibly dream of as a creator or as an entrepreneur or as someone that's scaling up the corporate ladder. We have everything in one building, right? So I'm like, okay, if co-working doesn't work, the photo studio will work, the event space will work, the conference room will work. So that alone attracted so many different people. The
Uh-huh.
girl that's creating a podcast is so much different than the person that's throwing a 60th birthday party. But all of those people that are trafficking my building are now telling their friends and now telling their other coworkers and employees about the experience that they had in the bakery. So that
Yeah.
was one. Diversify.
But I just want to comment on one thing. I love your setup because you kind of set it up like a gym. You come in for a podcast and then you may spill over to something else. You come over for this and da 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 da. That's great. That's great.
Yes, I wanted to diversify the user experience when it comes to co-working. I wanted to make sure that people didn't have to find a different building for everything they need in their entrepreneurial journey. So if you have a boutique or if you own a clothing brand, you would love to co-work and build your website, but you also may need a photography studio to do photos. You may also need to do a launch party for your brand and you need an event space. I wanted to make sure that we had that all tackled into our building, a one-stop shop for everything and everyone. The second thing is an amazing programming. Is amazing programming. Every single month, every single Wednesday, we have a Women Win Wednesday event where we bring in top experts to teach on topics like capital, building your resume, LinkedIn, networking, or whatever it may
Love it.
be. We've had a realtor meetup with hundreds of realtors all over Atlanta that came to network. So really it's about the programming and it's about what they actually will get in the building. I haven't done any
So smart.
ads for our business yet. This business has grown and scaled, and in 2 years we are fully profitable, and it's all from word of mouth.
It's great. Good for you. Good for you. All right. My number three piece is how do you build how do you build a culture of people asking for help and asking for business? Because within a co-working space, you got to be careful. You can't be the person that's like, overly promoting. So how do you build that?
Good. Okay. So I think I understand the question. But what I will tell you is first, I built another community, right? My first community was a digital community called Girl Mob, and we have over 10,000 women in Girl Mob. This was a digital community. And so we were doing meetups, frequently going to other co working space before we opened the bakery. I think that when you are serving a community, you should have a journey that you take your community on to be able to serve them at different areas and places of where they are in business. So Girl Mob is $49.99 a month. We serve that girl that is just now getting started, maybe just made her first million and is now looking for information, resources, and connection. Then we have the bakery, which is starts at $150 a month. And there now we're able to serve them in person. Then we have the marketing agency for the girl that is like, okay, now I need that website. I need those flyers. I need a marketing plan. I need a strategic rollout. I want to launch a community, whatever it may be. Now you can work with us from the agency perspective. So I think just making sure that you have a way to serve your clients that are looking for that help and those resources. I've also talked to other community managers that own community spaces, and I tell them that you should have a trusted resource guide. So if they are looking for photography, you should have, these are the 3 photographers that we represent or that we trust, and then you should get a kickback of all the bookings that come from those photographers. Every referral that you get, you should get a kickback fee from that. And so I think that that's how it works, and that's why people will feel the community is so strong. People feel like, I have everything that I need within this community, and I don't go out and I don't need to worry about being scammed along the way.
It's great. Congratulations on everything you have built. It sounds incredible. Let me ask you a question. As somebody who is in business day to day, you sound like you have everything together, but we all know, business is not a straight line. And so when you get stuck, what do you do, and how do you, where's your biggest stuck point right now, and how are you getting through that?
I think my biggest stuck point right now is scaling. We've been open for 2 years now, and I want to open another location. We actually have our second location in Houston secured, and now it's all about raising capital. It's all about raising capital so that I don't have to bootstrap another space again. And then I can go into the franchising model, which is what I'm looking to do. But one thing that people know about me is I am the queen of pivoting. I will pivot so fast.
Yeah.
If at any point co-working stops working, that space will be a gym. It'll be a daycare center. It'll be whatever it needs to do to produce revenue. I'm the queen of pivoting.
All right, good. I think it's great. I think, I think it's so important. And I talk about this a lot on the podcast. I talk about this as a business coach. As you forecasting isn't just about numbers, but it's about trends. It's about what's going on in the world. It's about where things are moving. And if your finger's on the pulse and you're always 3, 6, 9 months ahead of where some of these trends are going, it's a lot easier to pivot because you're pivoting ahead of real time. That's great. All right, quick speed round. You ready?
Yes.
A book or a TED Talk that's had the biggest impact on you?
Oh my God. A book that I read that had the biggest impact on me is How to Sell Anything to Anybody.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I love that book so much.
Yeah. Best piece of wisdom you've ever received?
Best piece of wisdom I ever received? Maybe, I think a slow rise to the top is better than a fast fall to the bottom.
Yeah. Amen. All right. Last question. One thing everybody can do to focus more on their client needs is?
One thing everyone can do to focus more on their client needs is to understand their client.
Yeah.
A lot of people just want to sell anything to anybody, and selling anything to anybody is selling nothing to no one.
Yeah.
So you want to really understand your client needs. Like when I look at and analyze my clients, I look at what kept them up at night, why are they crying, what makes them feel sad, what makes them feel happy, and I'm going to build my marketing campaign around that. Right? I know that women felt stuffy when they have to go to co-working spaces like WeWork. They don't feel like the creative doesn't feel like she can go in there with her tripod and create reels and content, right? So I created from the need of what I know my audience truly wanted. Once you do that, it's no way that you can fail in business.
It's great. Good for you. Tell everybody who your ideal clients are, where they can connect with you, and all that other good stuff, Mary.
Absolutely. So you guys, I own an winning marketing agency. It's called the Icing Agency. We work with amazing clients. Typical retainer starts above 5K. So I would love to message you guys. Send me a message on Instagram or on our website, theicingagency.com. And you can find me on Instagram, Miss Skittles, MZSKITTLEZ.
Skittles, this was great. This was great connecting with you. I love what you built. I love your philosophy. I love your drive, everything that you're talking about. Think community. We talk a lot about just fundamentals on this podcast. I talk a lot about fundamentals with my coaching clients. And a lot of what you're talking about, Skittles, today are just not only fundamentals, but being in the right mindset. And not being married to an idea, being passionate about it, doing everything you can to do it, but knowing that, hey, you're paying attention to signals and when you have to pivot and where you want to provide something to your client. And I'm just going to extract one thing. If you know your client, then like you talked about, then you track their trends, you track their indicators, you track how they're forecasting, and you can grow and scale a business. So thank you so much for taking time to be on the show. Think community, you can reach Skittles. Give me your website one more time.
Theicingagency.com, or you can check me out on Instagram, Miss Skittles, MZSKITTLEZ. Thanks so much, Jon.
Hey, thank you. And you can reach me if you want to talk about coaching at jondwoskin.com. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Skittles. This was great.